G'day all, welcome back to the channel. This is my ZOHD Alpha Strike that has been used for a little while now. I built this one for cracking the 200k an hour barrier, which I haven't done yet. For some reason I was tuning it one day and, which was the stock motor that came with it, smoked up. So it's been put on the shelf for a little bit of time until I've got the new motor for it. So this has just had a new motor put in it. It's running a 6x5 prop. And the new motor that I bought is a T motor, F80. It's a 1900 kV. I've heard some good reports regarding the T motors, so I thought I'll give that one a go. It feels quite good when you turn it. The magnets feel quite strong in it. So I haven't yet tried that. That's going to be also maidened with a new VTX. So I'm going to be upgrading the old VTX, which was analog on this, running a Runcam Phoenix, I believe it is, analog system. I picked up a Avatar Mini HD 1S kit for it, so this will be going in it. That'll be the plan, to put the Avatar Mini 1S kit into it and then get it back out on the field and see if we can just gently crack over that 200 km an hour pass, which I'm sure we can do running on 6 cells. Let's get into it and sort this out so that it's got a HD system on it. I'm in the process of pulling out the old analog system at the moment, and we'll wire up the Avatar Mini 1S and stick it in. I'm thinking I'm going to be putting a different nose cone on here. The one that this came with two nose cones. The nose cone I want to put on here will be without the camera in the front. So I'm looking at mounting the camera up the top here, and then run my cable through here where the VTX is going to get good airflow through here, and we'll keep it nice and cool, being mounted up under the hatch here. I think that's the best spot for it, and I'll give it plenty of cabling so that I can comfortably move that out of the way to put the battery in. So I've already taken out the old VTX. It used to run a Eachine TX 1200 5.8 gigahertz system, so that's it there. So that'll be my wiring kit. I've just got to add an extra cable to this, and this will mount straight in directly to where the VTX went in previously. So that's the 3-pin cable now turned into a 4-pin cable, because we need RX and TX for the HD camera. So I just cut the plug off the end of the Mini 1S, and the grey wire is the TX, white wire is the receiving end, so they need to be swapped around when they go into the flight controller, and obviously red being power and black being ground. Alright, so I've just powered up the plane with my battery that it runs in. That's a 6-cell battery. I just want to check what sort of voltage. So the Walksnail 1S, if you look on the back of the box, has an input power of 3.1 volts to 13 volts. So obviously a 6-cell battery coming through these pins is going to burn it out. So we want to make sure we're in that range. So it's good to check this. And you've got 12 volts on those pins, exactly 12 volts. Definitely don't want to go too much higher than that, but 12 volts should be fine. It can handle 13. So next we do our wiring loom. Don't forget to put the heat shrink on first before you do any soldering, and we repeat this process for all 4 wires until we get our wiring loom, which will resemble something like this. So that's it, we're all ready now to install the camera and the VTX. I'm going to have to remove the flight controller because the pins I need aren't these 4. So yeah, if you go to the flight controller that's in this is the Maytech F405 TE, and you scroll down to the wiring and you can see digital video system here shows ground 12 volt and TX6 and RX6. So my analog was connected to this VTX here, so we don't need that. So that's why I need to put this pin in over in the RX6 UART there. It does say GPS, FPV or DJI FPV OSD can work with any spare UART, TX or RX. Certainly messy, the hot glue, but I use it for this reason. Something that needs to be removed can be easily removed. Alright, so we need to get over into INAV here. We'll connect it up. And we'll go to our ports. So UART 6. We need to go into peripherals. In the drop down list here we select MS display port. And we save and reboot. I believe that's all we have to do. And now if we go into our on-screen display, we'll have our OSD format up here now. We can select avatar, and what I will do, I'm not going to do it just yet, is I'm going to copy and paste the OSD from one of my other planes into this so it matches everything I fly with. But we'll do that next, we'll do that after this. But as that is there, the system should power up and it should run. We still have to bind it, and then we should have picture. So what we'll do, let's power it up and have a look. As long as all my wiring is done properly, it should still be connected. I mean, it should still at least have power. Anyway, we should be able to see something going here. And we got, yes we do, we got the green light now. So it is powered up. Well, that's pretty much everything back in place again now. The new DuPont cable is in. I've got plenty of length on that too. I want to open the hatch. I'm not going to rip anything off. Right, next what we want to do, we're going to put the firmware on the VTX. We need a little power cable that came with it here and connect it into the port here and to the computer. So what we're going to do is you're going to download the latest firmware. In this case I've got 39.44.15, and you're going to hook up the craft. You need to power up the craft with the battery and get the VTX powered up, plug it into the computer, and your drive will open up here to the VTX, and you want to copy and paste Avatar Sky into the VTX folder. And once you've done that, you can disconnect this cable. And what we're going to do is power up the craft again, or power up the VTX again. And once this powers up, we're going to hold the bind button in here for 6 seconds. And that should install the firmware. You should see the green light turn red. That should be doing it now. It's turned off. It should go red next. There we go. And that's installing the firmware right now. So let that one do its thing until it goes back to green again. And that's when the firmware is installed. Don't disconnect it or disturb it until you get the green light. And there you go. We've got our green light, so our firmware is installed now. We're ready to bind it. So to bind it now, you want to boot up your Goggles X. And once that's fully booted up to its menu screen, we're going to hit this bind button here, the little small bind button. You'll need a small, like a pin or something small to push it in. Okay, so once you do that, you push it in and you'll hear it beep. Just like that. Now we're going to power up. Now we're going to power up the VTX. And once the light on this comes on, we're going to hit this bind button here once. It goes red. The beeping stops on the Goggles X, and we've got a solid green light here now. We should have picture, and we do have picture. So we're all good to go. All bound up, ready to go with the latest firmware. Now the plan is to mount the VTX on the underside of this hatch here, somewhere about there like that. I want to keep it elevated so that airflow can get through both sides, and the way I'm doing that, I'm just going to use standoffs and probably glue some standoffs into the hatch here and have them just secured just a bit kind of like that to elevate the VTX. So the camera is just going to go out this hole here, and we'll somehow mount it on top here, so that'll give us a view of the nose when we're flying, which I don't mind in this instance. So I've got 4 standoffs. I've had to shave these down to fit the holes because these are smaller holes, and we'll go ahead and now mount that and yeah, take it to the next step. So that's pretty much how I'm going to mount it. I'm just going to super glue or hot glue even these in. Might just hot glue them. And there's a little gap there, so the glue will seep into here, creating a good hold for this. I mean, one of the main reasons I wanted this up anyway, I need to get hold of. I need to be able to plug in to the file transfer port here. That's pretty important, and also the bind plug to update the firmware, so you need to have them kind of accessible. So next step will be to mount this somewhere like that. Okay, we'll make sure the aerial's on before we go glue that, or that'll be a problem. I'm just going to hot glue it. Use my favourite, I like hot glue, only because if I need to remove this, it's not a big deal. Yeah, I know if it gets hot, the hot glue can melt and soften and the VTX could fall, but in this case I don't think it will, because the heat source is up the top here, and I don't believe it's going to get that hot. I don't leave it sitting on the ground anyway. I only connect up the VTX when I'm ready to fly to save it from overheating, so I don't see any drama. Now the question is which direction. I think this is the direction I'm going to want to do it. I've got my port there which I can hit, and I've got my plug in there which I can access as well. The camera will mount just up here like that. So we'll just wait for this to heat up, and we'll just hot glue this in place as it is there. Put plenty of hot glue around the standoffs so they don't move or come loose. Alright, we'll just let that dry now. I might even add a bit more. I'll have a good look at that once it's dried, see how secure it is, but I might add a bit more to that just to make sure it stays. So what's happened here is that my aerial came off when I hot glued this in, and I can't put it back on with a pair of pliers, so I'm just going to undo it again using my hot air gun and reconnect and secure the aerial a bit better. I'm just going to re-glue this back on. I just want to make sure that doesn't come off, because that's the last thing we really want in flight. I don't really need it to be too stressed out, that connection. I think it's fine there. Kind of a temporary fix for the moment. I've just glued it down onto the tape here just for the moment. I'll probably get a proper bracket for it to mount it. I'll see how that goes. It'll hold it for a bit. Yeah, but that's all. I don't have a mount for it at the moment, so it's unfortunate. But like I said, that's going to be... I will peel this off, and then we'll just melt the hot glue and clean it up a bit and redo it a bit later. Alright, I'll just pop a battery in and we will boot it all up and just get it all set up in the goggles. So a couple of things I want to do before we move on to flying this. I seem to have lost the nose cone that doesn't house the camera. So I might have to purchase a new one of them. So in the meantime, I'm just going to be using this nose cone with the old camera in it. Going to fix this up too because I don't like the look of that. That's just a temporary kind of fix. It should stay for a flight, I guess. We'll see. But yeah, I'm just going to monitor that, and we'll properly mount that one as well once I get the right equipment for that. Picture in the goggles is all good. I've just got to hook it back up to INAV and set up the OSD how I want to have it set up in the goggles, and then we're good to fly. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Any questions, just leave them in the comments section there, and I'll be happy to answer them. Other than that, hope you enjoyed this little upgrade for the Alpha Strike, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.